My mother-in-law gave every daughter-in-law a family heirloom ring except me to show I didn't belong, but the original owner gave me the most important heirloom in front of her. In my husband's family, there is a tradition where the mother hands each of her son's wives a ring from a collection that goes back generations. Getting one is the family's way of saying you belong now. You are one of us. My mother-in-law Hortense had 4 daughters-in-law counting me. She gave a ring to the other 3. She never gave one to me. I married Eugene 8 years ago, and at the wedding, Hortense made a whole speech about how special the rings were and how each one was chosen to suit the woman who received it. My husband's brother's wives already had theirs, and they would turn their hands in the light at holidays while Hortense beamed. Every time I asked, gently, when I might get mine, she had an excuse. These things cannot be rushed, she would say. I have to find the one that is right for you. A year went by, then 2, then 3. The excuses kept coming. I am still looking through the collection. It has to be a perfect match. Meanwhile, the newest wife, who married in years after me, got her ring at her first anniversary, and Hortense presented it at a family dinner like it was a coronation. I sat there with a bare hand and a smile I did not feel. It was never about a ring being available. She had a whole box of them. It was about me. She had decided, without ever saying it out loud, that I was not really one of them, and the missing ring was how she reminded me every single time we were all together. When I brought it up to Eugene, he talked to her, and she told him it was a delicate family matter, a mother's decision, something I would not understand. She always framed it like she was the keeper of a sacred thing, and I just had to wait my turn, a turn that was never coming. The other wives noticed, and somehow that made it awkward for me instead of her. One of them told me once to just be patient, that Hortense gave her hers when she felt ready, and not to make it a thing. So now I was the one making it a thing by simply not having what everyone else had. At one holiday, Hortense went around the dining table admiring each of the other wives' rings out loud, lifting their hands so everyone could see, and when she reached me, she patted my bare hand and moved on with a little smile. Later, she pulled me aside and said some people fit into a family right away, and some people you have to be sure about, and she was sure I understood. She said it like she was being kind. I understood her perfectly. She had no plans to ever give me one. For years, Hortense sat at the head of that family handing out belonging like it was hers to ration, and I got to be the example of what happens to someone she has not approved. What she did not count on was Grandma Rose. Grandma Rose was Eugene's grandmother, Hortense's own mother-in-law, and she was the one the rings first came from. It was her collection. Years back, she had let Hortense start handing them out to the wives, but the rings were always hers, and the most important one, the original, the ring the whole tradition started with, Grandma Rose kept for herself the entire time. Hortense had been circling that ring for years, dropping hints about how it should stay in the family and how she would take good care of it. Here is the part Hortense never thought about. All those years I was being frozen out, I was the one who kept showing up for Grandma Rose. I drove her to appointments. I sat with her on quiet afternoons when nobody else could be bothered. I did it because I liked her, not for a ring, since as far as I knew I was never getting one. Grandma Rose saw everything. She saw which grandson's wife came around out of love and which ones came around when there was something to gain. And she saw exactly what Hortense was doing to me, because Grandma Rose did not miss a thing. At her 90th birthday, with the whole family there, she asked me to help her up and said she wanted to speak. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the original ring, the crown of the collection, the one Hortense had been circling for years. She put it in my hand in front of everyone and said this one had always been hers to give, and she was giving it to the granddaughter-in-law who treated her like family. Hortense's face went through about 5 colors. She jumped up and said the ring was supposed to stay with the family, that they had talked about this. And Grandma Rose looked at her and said, "She is the family. You are the one who forgot that." There was nothing Hortense could do. It was not her ring. It had never been her ring. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Hortense was not a woman who lost in front of everyone and just accepted it. The next morning, Eugene was at the counter pouring coffee when his phone buzzed. He answered on speaker, and Hortense's voice came through calm and sweet, like she was asking him to pick something up from the store. She said the ring was supposed to go to her, that Grandma Rose was 90 and not thinking clearly, and that Eugene needed to talk to me about giving it back, just temporarily, so the family could sort it out.